Welcome to CG Simplified, and in this video we're going to look at the best process for creating 3D models in Blender. Let's get started. When creating 3D models, we add primitive objects and then mold them into the shape we want. But I do notice that newer 3D artists have some confusion around how many primitives can or can't be used in a model. I'll give an example as to what I mean. If we want to model a chair, I see a lot of beginners, and actually even a lot of tutorials, that will take a single primitive, like a plane or a cube, and extrude legs and any other details from this one object, basically completing the entire blocking phase with a single object. While this isn't entirely wrong, it does make it harder to tweak small or even larger details without creating a lot of extra geometry that will end up running all around the mesh. Instead, let's look at breaking objects down into their main components. This way, we have a primitive for the tabletop and a primitive for each leg, and this doesn't affect importing the model into other software either, as we can join all of our primitives together when the model is finished to create a single object. The end result will be no different, just cleaner and easier to handle. The other benefit to this method is it aids in achieving photorealism. If we look at a piece of furniture, especially flat packed furniture, there will be seams where two pieces are buttoned up together. While this can be recreated when modelling from a single object, it leaves the issue of adding excess geometry to make what should be a basic detail. Now I'm going to model the same table using both methods so you can actually see the difference in action. We'll start with the single primitive method. I find getting the initial shape with this method to be slower and more difficult. While we can adjust things, it's a bit more of a chore to go through the model and select all the elements needed for a simple adjustment. And then, when we get to the point of beveling edges, it takes a lot longer to select all the points needed and runs the risk of needing to clean up geometry. Now I'm going to model this table again, but this time using multiple primitives. Now it's easier to position the legs, and I can use non-destructible modifiers to symmetrize the model. When it comes to beveling sharp edges and adding detail, it's much easier as we can quickly select individual segments and we don't cause issues with the geometry. Thanks to the modifiers, all changes are consistent throughout the model. Taking a close look at the two models, there are some subtle differences in the finish. The main thing being that the connections look more natural, and that natural photorealistic look was achieved while keeping the modelling process as simple as possible. On top of these things, something that is worth noting is that when rendering this particular demo, the table modelled from a singular object took 18 seconds per frame to render, whereas a table modelled from multiple objects only took 15 seconds, even though all of the parameters around the render were the same. Now this isn't to say that modelling relatively complex shapes from a single primitive is a bad method. It definitely has its uses, just like polybuilding is a great way to create complex curves for things like car bodies. Doesn't mean I'd use that to model a teacup. All in all, I think it's important for newer 3D artists to be aware that you can just simplify things. We don't always need complex geometry and edge loops and juggling poles to make a good model. And this even applies to things that aren't flat-packed furniture. Complex hard surface models that might require rigging benefit from being made from multiple objects. Even food models can sometimes benefit from being broken down into multiple parts. And if we ever create a model that needs one smooth mesh, we can always retopologize the final model to give us a clean mesh, the same as we do when character modeling. Now I hope this video helped if you happen to be struggling with creating more complex models. It's always hard when first starting out to know how to approach certain shapes or objects. Just remember that if something isn't working or you feel it looks bad, you can always simplify the shape and break it down into smaller parts. If you have any questions or requests, drop them down in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.